You do coffee dates, coffee chats, one-to-one connection calls, whatever you call them. I'm curious to know, do you do that? Because it's an important part of your networking experience. We haven't met yet. I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the founder of Virtual Networkers, which is a global virtual networking organization for women entrepreneurs. And I always remind my members to have coffee chats with each other and with other entrepreneurs who might be of interest to them. And here's why, because the networking meeting can only have so much conversation, either virtual or in person. So when you do the coffee dates, it allows you to extend those conversations beyond the meeting. And you never know, you could get a friend, you could get a referral partner, you could get a key introduction, you may even get a client from these conversations, but you got to have the conversations in order to achieve those goals. The first goal, though, of a coffee chat is to get to know the other person. And so it's important to have them depending on your schedule and your energy level. Now, I'm a low energy introvert, and I wanted to run an experiment. How many coffee chats could I do until I say, Uncle, I can't do anymore? So for 6 months, I had more than 100 coffee chats with women entrepreneurs who are not members of Virtual Networkers. And I wanted to run this experiment for two things. One, to see if I could do it as a low energy introvert, but also to see what the results would be. What would be the results of having all of these conversations? And to help me, I used a Google Sheet to help me track my calls and the results of them. And this was super easy. And you can do this yourself or adapt it anyway. I just had the Google Sheet. Each tab had the month. And then within each tab, I had the date, the person's name, whether or not they were interested in virtual networkers, whether or not they wanted to be a guest, et cetera. Some key metrics that I wanted to measure. And then after each coffee date, I'd go in there, update the information. And about once a week, I would go and just kind of review everything and update it as necessary. And I kept this up for 6 months. And here's what I learned from this. Yes, I can absolutely have all these coffee chats as a low energy introvert. I was able to accomplish that goal. I wouldn't do it again exactly the same way. I would have less because what I found was I was having some work-life balance issues, but I did prove to myself that I could do it. And the second thing that was very interesting is this. I loved every conversation. I have no regrets with anyone that I spoke with. Again, the goal is to get to know someone, and I got to meet some really cool women who are now my friends. That's really awesome. I also, though, wanted to see how that might convert to some of my business goals. And so when I look back at all these beautiful conversations, I saw that there were some members of virtual networkers who came to virtual networkers because I had a coffee chat with them. I also saw that I had guests who came to the meetings as a result of our coffee chats, and I had others who also opted into my newsletter. It wasn't an overwhelming majority, but yes, I did see that traction, and that made me smile as well. So here's what I learned from all of this. You can collect the data, but you need to analyze it and figure out what the lessons are. And here's what I learned. Number one, I love the get to know you chats, but I really want to be more intentional with my schedule. So I use Calendly, which is a calendar software, and I created two different events in Calendly. The first is a get to know you call. That's the casual kind of, we're just going to chit chat and have fun. So I created those events, and then I have the availability. It's a little more limited, but I do have that availability on the calendar. The second type of event I created was a virtual networkers discovery call. That way I know if somebody wants to talk about virtual networkers, she can reserve that time, and it helps guide the conversation. I know exactly what's going to happen before I jump on the call, and I can get my ducks in a row. And I would never have done that if I didn't do this experiment. So I want to encourage you, if you do coffee chats and you're kind of wondering, what's the point of this? Am I getting anywhere? What kind of conversations am I having? Fire up a spreadsheet or write it down, whatever the case may be, and track it, and then analyze it and see what you can learn. Because there's always a process improvement that can be had. You could perhaps figure out you need different types of coffee chats like me, or perhaps you can think about the conversations. Are you asking for referrals? Are you asking someone to connect with you on LinkedIn? Whatever it is your goals are. So this will help you have more productive, coffee chats. You have productive coffee chats. So I hope this helped. And listen, if you are looking for a networking organization that is all about connections, please come check us out at Virtual Networkers. We, as I mentioned, we're a global networking organization. We have members from 11 countries. We have 5 weekly networking chapters, and we would love to have you as a guest. Come check us out at Virtual Networkers in Biz. So with that, I hope you have so much success with your coffee chats. I'll talk to you soon.